August 12th, 2010, and we've got Matt Gallagher here with his, I have to read the titles, Kaboom, Embracing the Suck in a Savage Little War. Hello, Matt Gallagher.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Welcome to WinCam.
Thank you.
I brought the station manager with me because he likes your book.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Joe, LaRocca.
I never have to introduce him because we co-host
people know.
other shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
It works out.
But thank you for writing this. And how long did it take you to write it?
Well, it took me about 4 months. I wrote it, the first draft, pretty much in a 4-month burst, right when we got back from Iraq in February 2009. I was transitioning out of the Army, so it was an odd time in my life where all I really had to do was show up for formation at 6:30 every morning, slightly sober, and then I had the rest of the day to myself to kind of out-process and had a lot of free time, and wrote the book.
Computer?
On a laptop, yep. Stereotypical writer, passed out, in my underwear. Most of my upper leg hairs were probably singed from the laptop. So that is a serious danger for 21st century writers.
But better to be singed by a computer than on the battlefield.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So how much, I know you were writing a blog at the time, right? Mm-hmm. So how much from, was there like just copying and pasting sections from the blog, or was it, or did that
not
just
too much.
provide an outline or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. I think because the blog was up for about first 6 months of our 15-month deployment.
Right.
And for those kind of, that first section that chronicled that timeline, it was more of an outline. Anything from going back and like rewriting it, because blog posts, there's no editing process. I wrote it and I posted it. Going back and taking out stuff that I didn't think needed to be included, including whole new sections that at the time I knew I couldn't put up on the blog because for operational security reasons. A prominent example being when we did a raid with a special operations unit, and we raided a mosque, which was a big no-no at the time. And so I knew then there's no way I could have included that on the blog, but I was able to put it in the book.
But so, and then it was taken down, or what did I?
Yeah, about 6 months in, I got called into my battalion commander's office, ranked lieutenant colonel, and he told me that he wanted me to be an executive officer for a different unit, which is a promotion, not in terms of rank, but job description. Mm-hmm. The downside of it is it would take me off the line and away from my soldiers. You're kind of in charge of all the logistical stuff back at the big base. Selfishly, I wanted to stay with my guys. 6 months in combat is a lifetime in terms of how close you can get with people. So I approached it from the stance, hey, sir, you need to know I'm getting out of the Army after this tour. Don't you think this could go to somebody who is going to make the Army a career?
Right.
He didn't really see it that way. Put me at attention, and a conversation that can really only happen in the military, of me taking all kinds of verbal abuse, staring at a wall and saying yes, sir, and saluting and moving out. It kind of stoked my Irish temper a little bit.
Yeah.
So I did what I'd been doing the previous 6 months, and I blogged about it, and then I posted it. And very naively didn't think it would get back to him, but that's how the internet works after all. Sure. It was, he shut me down. And sometimes people want to portray it as kind of a big brother thing, but it was really just middle management shutting me down for mouthing off a little too much.
Boy, censorship, freedom of speech.
It raised some constitutional issues, absolutely, but even over there, I think my stance was, we're fighting for the Constitution, or in theory. Once you sign on that dotted line, though, you do give up certain rights. So I understood. I probably would have handled that way as a leader. I probably would have handled it a little differently, knowing that you can't kill the internet, that things like Google Cache exists, and it's already out there. You might as well respond or make me apologize, or, handle it maybe a little differently. Yeah. But he was well within his right to shut me down, absolutely.
And how long into your time there were you decided that you were going to transition out of the Army? Was it like day one, or?
No, I think even before we went over to Iraq and we were in the training phases, I never really thought I was a career officer. Mm-hmm. I was proud of my service and I valued it, and that didn't change in Iraq, even on the really bad days, and there were plenty. but it was just kind of, I had other things in my life I wanted to do. So 20 years is a long time to devote to one thing, and it just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
Embracing the suck, how do you describe that for our audience?
Right. Embracing the suck is a kind of common catchphrase used amongst military personnel, particularly Marines and Army. Kind of, the suck can be anything. It can be a physical location like Iraq, a specific mission, life in general, what have you. And it kind of speaks to this kind of like raw pragmatism that is pervasive in military culture, which is, the suck is going to happen no matter what. You might as well embrace it and make it yours rather than have it embrace you and get overwhelmed by it. It was something that I came from, both my parents were lawyers. I kind of grew up in a very privileged background, white-collar background, grew up in the suburbs, as far from kind of military life that you can really get to. So I found it very refreshing, given my background, and just totally different, that kind of mentality and approach.
Oh, but all the lawyer parents, they're kind of doing battle all the time, right?
In a different way, yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So is there an embracing the suck there in that world?
Well, my mom has started using that phrase at the office, and she's a very sweet, southern, genteel woman. So I think it catches some of the younger male lawyers off guard when she's 110 pounds dripping wet. She's like, it's just time for us to embrace the suck. I think it catches them off guard. But she
you dedicated the book to her, correct?
I did. She had a tremendous impact on my life.
For sure.
She's promoting her son's book.
Yeah, in a way.
She's actually very, very good at that. She can get away with shameless mother stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does she have a Facebook, and does she post links?
She's not very technologically savvy.
That's good.
Her and computers don't get along.
Now, was this a photo from?
It is. Yes,
time,
that's from
so
Iraq.
It's not staged.
No.
Wow.
It's me in the back of the Stryker. Oftentimes, you're on different people, and different bosses are screaming at you. The job as a lieutenant, as a platoon leader over there is, you're the one officer with 20 enlisted guys, and your job is to kind of plan the missions and kind of oversee the execution of them. So for the senior officers, you are their go-to guy. I mean, one of the primary responsibilities is to communicate what is happening, and all too often they were calling at the same time. So it was trying to figure priorities. You got to figure out which one's the higher ranking and talk to him first.
It seems that was a big sense I got from reading the book. It's like, it must be so frustrating. You know how to do everything, but it seems like you never know why you're doing it, or you know a little bit about it, and that must be really irritating, especially for your troops.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very grating, and you're caught in between a rock and a hard place because what you're seeing on the ground and living with your guys, it's true because you're seeing it yourself. And then what's coming down the pipeline, oftentimes, is what they want to see or what they want you to report up. And you don't want to lie, obviously, so you got to somehow massage it to the point where you're communicating what actually happened to the superiors, and without inflaming their tempers and their egos. Yeah. And it rarely often was a smooth process.
Right. I mean, do you think that that's unique to this war? Is that something that I bet to some degree has been happening?
I think so. Some lessons are universal, and I'll pick up a Vietnam book or even a World War II book, and some of the things are just they're eternal within military culture. A lot of times, senior officers view wars as an opportunity to make their name. Yeah. And from my vantage point as a young platoon leader who really didn't have career ambitions, it was scary how some of them, not all of them, some of them were really great men, but some of them viewed us as chess pieces. Yeah. And that's quite bothersome when you're living it. Yeah.